Nation, we are in the building. Yeah. Hey, make sure you guys hit that like, okay? And subscribe. All right, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? It's completely free to do. Go ahead and double tap the screen and get it active. Shout out to everybody in the congregation. Again, if you want to be a part of the congregation, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is completely free to do. And shout out to the deacons in the building. Once again, y'all know we got to talk about this PeteCarroll press conference along with Raheem Mostert. Okay, that's what we got to talk about today. And we're going to get it in, listen to what they got to say, and then we're going to, break down, the breakdown of, what they talking about and what they cooking at training camp. Knowing that training camp right now, they don't have any pads on, they don't have any, they're not hitting, but they're out there learning, getting familiar with the playbook, getting active in that. So definitely, we are going to check out PeteCarroll and what he has to say. And I think this is his second time at the podium at training camp.
I really appreciate that. I've been wearing these for some monarchs.
Are they comfortable?
Go to the movie if you want to. You can mow your front lawn. You can do whatever you want.
What's it get here?
That's the advantage of living in Vegas. You get to mow your front lawn.
That's right.
Pete obviously made a big move yesterday, releasing Christian Wilkins. Talk about the thought process that went into it, but also moving forward, how you go about replacing that projected.
It took a long time to make our decision, we watched our way through the whole thing. We're keeping really clear with what we said. I think there was no clear path to his return, and so we just had to move on.
Obviously, we won't talk specifics, but Chip is using, you got a lot of weapons on offense, and he's being extremely creative. How exciting is it for you, because you're known as a creative guy, to see what he's doing?
Go ahead and double tap the screen.
Yeah, matter of fact, you watch him as he starts each period, man. He sends a message about what's coming or what isn't coming to the defense. He's competing like crazy in it. He has so much history, so much background, and he is a creative master. Now, he's been that for years, all the way back to the Temple stuff that he did years ago that set everybody on their ear in football.
Shout out to everybody. Make sure you double tap the screen.
It's really fun.
Subscribe.
We are feeling our guys. We are feeling the roles. We are feeling the opportunity to mix guys in and do the things they do really well. And we're learning. We've only been at it 3 days here now, but we're learning. But we already
shout
have
out to Daniel Berry.
Special going. About replacing Christian Wilkins, and how good do you feel about this young group of players?
This place is about competition. It always has been, and it's just wide open. And I don't need to talk about any names right now. I think the fact, if you watch the rotations, and we're giving everybody a chance, mixing guys with the ones and the twos all the way throughout, just to gather a bunch of information. I went right back to cut-ups yesterday of the first 2 days, just watching each individual guy, and we're just putting the information in the vault here, and we'll figure it out in time. But we have a good, young, spunky group of guys now, and the young guys that came in this past draft are part of that competition too, so it's exciting.
I've seen him do that a couple of years, obviously out here. What do you see in that third year?
I think this is really his time. I think this is his time. He had a little bit of injury issue early on. Last year he made improvement. I'm counting on him to do stuff in a big way, and that's not. It's not just outside of the end where he is a real natural. We're moving him around, trying to see what we can do, and work in complement with our other rushers. But I'm really enthused about how he's shown his effort and his concern about doing things really hard and full speed and all that. So that's a really good sign. So he's a marvelous looking athlete.
It's very early, but are you happy with your rookies? Looks like, the effort's been impressive.
Right now, we had 3 terrific days of practice. We really did. I mean, each one of them was everybody did everything they could. Then we challenged to come back and do it again. And this is the 3rd day to finish this first rhythm of it. And this was probably our best practice. So the focus and the intensity and working to try to maximize these opportunities, because we're still in a controlled mode, and OTA kind of mode right now. I love what we've done in 3 days. Yeah, I told him right off the bat I want him to play inside, and he's always been so instinctive and so aggressive and such a run-through guy. Been a fantastic blitzer over his time, so I want to put him in a position to do that. So he's jumped right into the will spot, and that gives us some flexibility that we're gonna grow with. He looks really good. You know, I mean, he had a real serious injury a bit ago. He looks like he's back, and so weighing a little bit more than he was before. He fit just right. So I'm really anxious to see how he takes it.
What about the familiarity working with him? How valuable is that? You know him so well.
Yeah. Oh, do you have any questions, by the way, before you get out of here? I mean, if you guys do.
Hey, can we just some space, guys? We're crowding the podium a little bit.
What am I sweating? Go back. Ask the
Familiarity about working with Jamal before. How important is that?
It's really important. I mean, we made a big trade to get him because of who he is and the nature of his football style of play, aggressiveness, toughness, and his mentality is really unique. That's why we were so willing to go after him a while back. So to get a chance to get him back in our organization right now and kind of give him an opportunity to get back in flow of the kind of play he's capable of, I'm all over it. And it is because I know him really well and because I think the world of him. And so his style of play is so suitable for what we're trying to do here about being aggressive and tough and all that. And so we'll see what happens. You know, he's competing.
What has Jonah Laulu shown you so far in the time you've been working with him?
You know, Jonah hasn't done anything but the right stuff so far. I mean, he's been on it. I found him watching film, you know, coming off of last season before we even got back together and all that. And I thought I saw some really good traits about him. And so I've been kind of in his corner the whole time, pushing him to be one of in the front line of this thing. And so far, he's shown us the flexibility to play different spots, which is good. He's playing really hard. He's playing really smart, and he's making a bid for us. So it's exciting.
Obviously, it's a different position, but do you see Jamal maybe as a Charles Haley, just a primary pass rusher, or do you think he can do all three downs at will?
No, I don't see him as a primary pass rusher. I think he's an instinctive guy that can do a lot of things. So we don't want to put him on, you know, in any place that locks that down. So he'll be behind line of scrimmage and on the edge, moving around, just like our system calls for. And he might be a great fit for us. So we're going to give him a heck of a chance.
Coached against some of the greats in this game. When you see Max Crosby doing what he does out there, almost like it's a Super Bowl every rep.
Yeah, he really, truly is the epitome of what we're looking for in this program. And he doesn't just speak it; he does it. He's a monster on the offense every day. And I mentioned that, you know, every time he rushes, you have to be aware that you may have to duck on his speed rush. You may have to flush on his up and unders. He's just that big of a factor, and he's given DJ all he wants, and it's a great opportunity for him to work against a terrific football player. But his presence is really obvious, and it's not just the passing game. You know, him chasing the football and his consistent intensity is really ideal for what we're looking at.
Coach, sorry if I missed this already, but what has been time passed since the time you coached Jamal previously to now? Like, what has changed about him, whether as a leader or as a player, that you've seen so far?
Well, he's overcome a major surgery and a major injury, you know, and I've had a couple guys that have gone through that, and it takes a couple years. And so here we are, you know. So I know who he is, and I know what he brings, and I know what he's trying to accomplish and getting back going again. And we'll see what happens. But he's going to get a real shot, as is everybody, but I'm going to give him a real shot because I can imagine how much of a factor he can be on your defense if he's out there. So, got a great spirit, great competitiveness about him. So, I mean, there's nothing I love more about in a player. That's why we went for him in such a big way before.
We saw season ticket holders on day one of camp, and then it was open to the public yesterday with hundreds of Raiders fans here. You know, no fans today, but what has it been like just being immersed in Raider Nation for the first time?
We need more. We need more. Hey, the invitation's wide open. When we have our open days, let's get all of our people in there. I'm okay if we overflow it. Okay, we can have as many as we want, as we can get in here. So the invitation's wide open, and we need them. It is a factor in our practice. It gives us a presence of there's people watching. We're never going to play a game where they're not going to be looking at us and watching us, put us on big TV looks and all that. I want them to feel that as much as possible. So it's great to have them. We need more.
So can you talk about Geno a little bit, and just it's the early stages of camp, but you also have the OTAs. Where's he in terms of comfort level with Chip's offense?
Well, first off, they're connecting. They're going, you know, shoulder to shoulder in this thing. We're really working hard with Geno because he has such good history. He's had so many principles and things that he's done that he's mastered. Those will be part of what we're doing as well as the stuff that Chips brings that's creative. Geno being here is such a positive factor for restarting this program. And not just because we were together and he extends the message. He is the message. He competes every single day, every step he takes. He's just the version of Max on the other side of the ball. And that kind of leadership, it's just obvious. I mean, you don't say anything. He doesn't have to give any speeches or nothing. He just is a leader. And so it's just a big factor in jumpstarting. And also, when we're on the field, you see the plays day after day. He keeps making great plays, great throws, great decisions, scrambled one in today. And everybody realizes what we got. And so
double tap the screen, y'all.
Take care of him in the pass
Subscribe
situations. They're trying to keep him fresh and not get in his way because we want him playing for us. So it's been a great start, and we're just getting going. There's just no hindrances at all. None.
Competition and energy has always been a big part of wherever you coached previously, but when you get a chance to reset and do something new for the first time, what are the biggest differences in terms of how you structure things and your message than maybe what you did in Seattle?
Yeah, I was taught a long time ago that you either have a philosophy or you don't, and we have one. But the philosophy is affected by the people, and how they adapt to it and how they make it come to life and all that. And that's what this process. So my biggest challenge is to give them the ways that we believe we can play our football, but then let it become theirs. And so it's really a fun challenge, and it's why I'm so charged up. And I've been a little bit fired up since I've been here. I know that. I know you might have seen that or not. But each practice is an opportunity for us. Each day is a statement of who we are, what we're all about. Are we there again? Are we consistent?
Yeah.
Are we battling? And so it's a coach's dream to have an opportunity like this, really. And so the fellas are responding in a way that's making it really fun. And we're going to get pads a couple days from now. We'll really start to bring it.
Looking forward to when pads come on.
It's a big statement for us to make that we're stepping out of the OTA mode and all of that, because the game is at the line of scrimmage and both sides of the football. And until we start knocking each other around and battling to make each other better, you really don't know where you are. And so we can only evaluate what we can, and we've at this point we're in great shape with understanding our players, but this is the next step. And so there's not that many padded days before we're playing, so we'll take advantage of every one of them and expect our guys to get after each other. They realize that it's the guy across from them that makes them, and so that understanding is to bring out the best in everybody. And so hopefully it'll be really fun to watch.
Yesterday, you guys said you had commitment to excellence on and off the field. Was that sort of sending a message about the expectation that you guys had for this club moving forward?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. We have extremely high expectations. I don't even know any other way to think, and I don't care what year it is or what team it is. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, this is either going for it or you're not, and we're going for it. And whatever that means at the end of it, we'll find out. But in the meantime, there is no standard that we can set high enough that we can't challenge for, and so we're going for it. Like I said, and these guys are on board. They get it.
Something that I noticed is how much you kind of move around your defensive backs and kind of like in rotation. A lot of guys getting in there in the backfield. What do you believe is the intentionality behind that, of kind of being an open competition? Who's some guys that you like?
We're gathering information, really, and I want them to feel what I'm saying. This is, you're either competing or you're not, and so I've got to give them the opportunity to show what they can do and who they are, how far along they've come. And I'm not afraid one bit of playing young guys. If rookies play, I'm fine with that. I haven't been doing that for years. That's a positive if that can happen. So we have to give those guys opportunities to show themselves, and so that's really what it is. And if you notice, we're mixing everybody at all spots with that intention.
Coach, you mentioned games are won in the trenches. What are your thoughts on Alex Kaplan and Dylan Parham?
Well, both guys, as the question came up about the pads, we can't tell now. We can tell they know their assignments. We can tell they know their footwork and their steps. They're making their calls. But until we start knocking each other around, we won't really know. We need to feel their power. But they've done just positive things so far, so we're in good shape going into the padded days.
Last one, Adam.
Coach, you brought Jermaine Pratt in pretty late in the process. Jermaine Pratt came in pretty late in the process. I guess everybody knows what he can do. He's a very accomplished player, but how is he in terms of picking up what you guys want from him?
Well, he was off to a good start first couple of days. He's got a hamstring just a little bit tight, so we're just making sure that he can get to the fifth practice is really what we're doing. We'll give him this day off and then try to get him right back. He's instinctive. He's physical. The way we're playing him, the things we're asking him to do are right up his alley. And it's a pretty tough-looking group now. pretty tough-looking group. Devin and what E-Rob brings and what Pratt brings and what we're seeing Jamal has an opportunity to try to add. It's a physical, hard-hitting, hard-running group now. I'm really excited about that aspect of our defense.
Thank you.
All right, that's PeteCarroll, head coach PeteCarroll. You know what I'm saying? Talking his, gospel on what we Raider gospel on what's going on at training camp. He did talk about Christian Wilkins in that situation. Stay tuned for that because I will be doing a live. Concentrated on Christian Wilkins. So stay tuned for that. You'll hear my Raider gospel. You'll hear some information on what's going on and what happened with the Christian Wilkins situation in regards to the Las Vegas Raiders. But moving forward, he talked about a new acquisition that we have on the roster, which is Jamal Adams. Safety Jamal Adams is a part of the Raiders. Now he has signed, I believe it is like a 1-year contract, but there is a role, and I'll probably be doing a live on him too because I was actually very excited about Jamal Adams coming out, and joining the Raiders. I believe that there is still something left in the tank with Jamal Adams, and he can still play the game. You know what I'm saying? I still believe that he can play the game. And it seems like PeteCarroll also feels the same way. PeteCarroll said that, that he looked good, out there. There is a role for him. They have a specific role that they want him to play. I'll be breaking that down, in a live too, of longer format. But he said he's there. You know what I'm saying? And he's imagining him. Okay? This is key. He's imagining him being a factor on this team. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that were talking about, they brought in Jamal Adams. He's washed up. He's not even going to make the team, etc., etc. And surprise. Surprise, surprise. All right? Hey, look. PeteCarroll is saying, hey, we brought him in and not just bringing him in. Of course, we're always competing, but I got a role for him to play. There's something in my mind that I got for Jamal Adams. And that's exactly what we're seeing, with PeteCarroll talking about Jamal Adams in itself. I also... there was a quote that PeteCarroll said in the press conference, and he said, you're either competing or you're not. Simple as that. Either you're competing or you are not. Okay? And we're starting to see that shown, we're starting to see that executed, not just coach-wise, but player-wise. And that's just going to be the MO of PeteCarroll. That's going to be the MO of the Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you guys in there chatting it up. Go ahead and double tap the screen and hit that subscribe button, okay? It's completely free to do. Come on and join the congregation. And like I said, I'm gonna be coming at you guys almost every day, if not every other day in the regular season, to let you guys know about these Las Vegas Raiders. So you do not want to miss that content. Smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because we are going to be at you on a regular. Okay? And shout out to the deacons in the building. I see Ray Love in the building, one of my value deacons. He's going to be monitoring the chat. So if you in there wilding out, he's got something for you. All right. Let's get into Raheem Mostert. Hey, scoring touchdowns. Hey, somebody got to do it. Hey, if you never heard that, that you're hearing it here at Raider Twuan. You know what I'm saying? Let's hear from Raheem Mostert! Scoring touchdowns. Say somebody got to do it. All right, let's listen to Raheem Mostert.
All right, how you feeling so far the first couple of days of training camp?
Feeling great. The body's adjusting to the training camp life, especially being out here. It's something that I'm not quite used to, but I sort of am, being in Miami for the past 3 years. So the heat's not so much the problem. It's getting my breath in the altitude. That's the big thing. So it's been fun though.
So we hear Pete talk all the time about competition. That's kind of his buzzword and how it comes across in every position group. What's the competition been like among the running backs?
Yeah, no, it's been smooth, honestly. Everybody in the room, we all compete against each other, but we're all trying to maximize.
Wait, hey, I gotta pause this. Hey, shout out to what I got. Special shout out to Wild Turkey. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Wild Turkey. All right, let's get back into Raheem Mostert.
As many opportunities that we possibly can, and especially the younger guys in Ashton, right? I've been able to help him out in some of his reads and everything like that, and telling him, hey, look, you need to make a one cut instead of trying to jatter at the line of scrimmage, because that just slows your timing down with the O-line. So just little things like that, just trying to help not just him, but a lot of different guys, and they're helping me as well. Just understanding the vision of everything, and it's been fun. And the competition is always going to rise up. I always got to lead the room because I'm the older guy in the room. So it's been fun though.
That, like being that veteran voice in the room, being that leader to the younger incoming players. Like I mean, you did that in Miami just with A-Chain, so now you have that Genty. How's that for you as a leader and veteran?
Honestly, I like the challenge. I feel like it's a way for me to display who I am as a player and as an individual, and also to showcase my abilities as being a leader. Right? You want to say you want to be a leader on the team, but for me, it's all about action. And this league is what have you done for me lately? That's the mantra that's always going around. So if I'm able to come in a situation like here and provide my leadership and my presence, and to show everybody that, hey, look, I'm gonna put in the work. You could learn from me. Just ask me questions. I'm an easygoing guy. I'm one of those guys that you can come up to and talk to about anything. And if you want to, keep it on the hush, that's fine with me too. I have an open door policy with my personality, as you guys we'll get to know. So it's a lot of fun, and just wanting to be there for those guys, because once my career is over with, I want to look back and be like, hey, I helped that guy out, and whether he took the advice or not, I did my part, and that's something that I got to look myself in the mirror at.
How real is the learning curve and pass blocking for rookies? It's something that's talked about all the time, but how real is that?
It's really real. The game, when you're in college, right, and me and Ashton talk about it, when you're in college, you have a lot of different things coming at you. The game's not as fast as like what it is in the NFL. And you have to slow down your thought process. You have to make sure you're reading all the defensive keys that allow you to in response to whatever the defense is doing. So it's a challenge for guys, especially the young guys, but they're getting the hang of it. Especially this generation, they're picking it up just like that. So.
I'm curious if there's something that you learned when you were a rookie, or wish you knew when you were a rookie, that you've been able to kind of impose on these younger guys.
Yeah. One thing that I try to tell guys, even when, looking back when I was a rookie, I had one guy that was, a huge presence, Darren Sproles. I was with Chip and with the Eagles, and Darren Sproles was my mentor. He was a guy that I truly leaned on, and one of the things that he helped me out, with my growth was that hey, look, you might not be the biggest, might not be the strongest or the fastest. Well, in my case, I am the fastest, right? But it's all about your heart and your want to, and your determination, and ultimately your goal. Once you're done playing the game, because this game's been going on for 100 years, right? And so, what can you do to leave your legacy? And that was one of the messages that came across and hit me so hard. If you start that foundation right now, it's just like building a house, right? You have to have a good foundation. if you can build that foundation as a young guy and work your way up and continue to showcase yourself each year, in and out every year, that in itself is going to leave behind a good legacy. And that's something that I try to tell the young guys too. So, and they, like I said, they pick up on it.
How have you seen him change? What has it been like being back with him?
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it's kind of like a full circle moment for me. I was with him at the Eagles, and then the following year I was with him at the Niners, and then we dispersed, but we always stayed in contact somehow, some way throughout those years. And now being back with him, the offense is definitely completely different than what I was accustomed to, some odd years later, but years ago. But honestly, man, it's cool to see the growth. It's cool to see, what he can do within the offense, and then, to have guys in this offense, the O-line and even, Geno's just, I've been a fan of Geno since way back, because he's a guy that's been underestimated most of his career, and people didn't really see him as a starter, and then, he blows up, and now he's with Seattle, with Pete, and, all that combination. It's just, it's inspiring in itself. And so to be able to have Chip and Geno and all these different pieces around, and Brock and Michael and everybody else, man, it's a good feeling. I have a really strong feeling about this offense. It's something that I haven't felt, for quite some time. No disrespect to, my previous employers, but, just the camaraderie and being a first-year team is definitely something that's, taking a huge still on.
Estimated bucket too. An undrafted guy coming into the league, and obviously Chip gives you a chance right away. It seemed like you guys hit it off. Was he big in your career in that way, having a guy believe in you?
Yeah. Obviously because he believed in me. He gave me my opportunity, and I tried to make the most out of it. And I always bust his chops here and there. I'm like, hey man, you didn't really have to let me go. I was really working my tail off, but. Nah, it's all fun, man. It's all, it's just a part of the process, and that's something that, as a player, that's what I want. I want those tough times. I want to be able to look back and be like, hey, man, it was all worth it. That was one of my biggest things as a player, is just looking back and being like, you know what, you put in the work, you did exactly what you needed to do, and people can't take that from you.
Ashton said that he hasn't had his wow moments just yet. The pads are up, but they're about to come on here in a few days. Yeah. What's the mentality like for a running back room? Just physicality.
Yeah, you get better run reads. That's a big thing. You get to showcase, what you're here for. And me, I've been there and done that before. But I'm excited for Ashton. I'm excited for Sincere. I'm excited for Z. Some of the guys that get that opportunity, and I get to see them in person. It's going to be fun, and I can't wait, because those pads do tell a lot. When you put those pads on, you gotta really bring your stuff. You gotta really have that mentality and that attitude of want to. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
You said, how important is it? What's most important for you right now, and running backs right now in this application for the pads?
Just getting used to the footwork. I think that's the biggest thing. Just getting used to the calls and understanding the assignment and the footwork. And then now when you get those pads on, you got to squash all that out of the way, because that should be routine now. Now when you get into the pads, it's more so about getting those fits. Having that mesh with your O-line, having that mesh with your quarterback. That's the most important thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
That's Raheem Mostert, Raheem Mostert, and he is here. Shout out to be out in the building. I see you. Make sure you double tap the screen. And for those that have not, go ahead and subscribe. Okay, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Raheem Mostert, getting it in. Talking about his leadership. He is the vet in that room. He is the guy that these young running backs will be leaning on and looking to, during camp and throughout the season. There was some moments where Raheem Mostert was telling Ashton, hey, look out for this. And the reason why he's saying look out for that is because Raheem Mostert has been there and done that. Raheem Mostert for those that don't know, Raheem Mostert has been on a Super Bowl caliber team. He knows what it is to get to the Super Bowl. He knows how to carry a team, you know what I'm saying, to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? And here is Raheem Mostert in a position where he has some talented running backs around him, like an Ashton Genty, a Zamir White, and a Sincere McCormick. Young guys that are trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, how to get things done, and get it done well. So, I think Raheem Mostert, his value is coaching up, on the sideline, these young running backs. But I will also say he also has some tread still left on his tires. Raheem Mostert can still get it done at running back, and that's why I don't have personally, my Raider gospel on the situation. I don't have a heart attack in regards to our running game. I think having Ashton Genty with Raheem Mostert along with Zamir White and Sincere McCormick is a formidable room in itself. And I'm not going to have to worry about our running back situation. It's really going to be on, you know, these young running backs adjusting to the playbook, our O line, what I'm saying, making sure the run fits are right so that they can run and get all that stuff together, you know. But stay tuned for our running game. I think our running game is going to take a jump. I think it's going to take a positive, step forward, and we'll see how that pans out. You know what I'm saying? In regards to our running back, Raheem Mostert definitely was on podium today, or yesterday, but we showing it today. And just telling you guys, hey, wait until pads, but I'm here to be a leader. And that's exactly what I believe PeteCarroll, wanted, and John Switek wanted out of Raheem Mostert. Yeah, be that leader to our young running backs, but hey, be ready when your number is called. All right. Hey, let me know your Raider gospel on this topic. Let me know your Raider gospel on this situation in regards to PeteCarroll. Your thoughts on PeteCarroll, also on our running back, Raheem Mostert. All right. Raheem Mostert! Hey, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to hear that from me a lot. You know what I'm saying? That Raheem Mostert is running some touchdowns. All right. You're going to have to hear that from me a lot. Stay tuned. Shout out to B. Al in the building. Rosetown is in the building. Good to see y'all. Make sure you guys double tap that screen. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you double tap in that screen. We need you to double tap that screen while you at it. And, hey, go ahead and subscribe. I'm giving you that good Raider content, that Raider, insight, that Raider analytics, and, that Raider gospel. Because that's what I'm here for, is to give you that Raider gospel. I'm going to look at the chat, see what y'all got going. Y'all know how I do the little, get up and close and personal with your boy Raider Twuan. Sarvar, good to see you. Make sure you double tap that screen. Ardell, hey, he said PeteCarroll is a good coach. Hey, you know what I'm saying? He's better than what we've had. And let's be real with that. Let's be real with that. Ray Love definitely is showing love. And y'all know we got the Raiders. You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is. Yes, sir. Wild Turkey with the brown crackers. Hey, look. Hey, y'all got to donate to the Brown Cracker Fund, all right? Cash App and Venmo. Hit that Cash App and Venmo, you know what I'm saying? So I can get the brown crackers cracking for the NFL Raiders football season. All right. Cash App, $Twuan. Okay. $TWUAN. Okay. Venmo at Twuan. TWUAN. I gotta do a song on that. I might have to write a song on that. I got a new tune. TWUAN. You know what I'm saying? Cash App, Venmo. All right. $Twuan on Cash App. Venmo, TW at TWUAN. Everybody sing with me. No, I'm playing. We ain't gonna do that. Go ahead and double tap the screen. Rosetown said it was a great move by PeteCarroll. To get rid of Wilkins. He wants to win now. Wilkins wasn't ready. You know, hey, I'm gonna get ready, Rosetown. I will be doing a live, probably next week, because tomorrow I will be working on a live, celebrating Raider Twuan and the congregation for going into the 3rd season. This will be my 3rd year of Raiders content. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be working on that actually when I get off this live, for each and every one of you guys. Stay tuned. I might have some special guests that will show up for the I don't know how you play that. Okay, so I'm going into my 3rd season. Okay, so I'm not a rookie. I'm not a sophomore. You know, you can call me a junior or whatever you may want to call. But is it my 3rd year anniversary or is it my 2-year anniversary? If I'm going into my 3rd year, you guys let me know in the chat. Is it 3 or is it 2? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Is it my 2nd year anniversary? Is it my 2-year? Or is it my 3-year? Sophomores too. Yeah, I know. But I'm going into my 3rd season. So is it my 3rd year anniversary? Or is it, 2? It's my 3rd year. Okay, cool. So yeah, hey, look, we're gonna be, according to Ray Love and what I was kind of thinking, we're gonna celebrate 3 years of Raider Twuan being on YouTube tomorrow. Because you know why? You know why it's tomorrow? Because the 27th of July was when I did my first live. First official Raider Twuan live. And those that don't know, I was before I got my own channel, or created my own YouTube, channel, I was co-hosting and guest, on a lot of other people's shows. And, some people, not all people, but some of those people had me on their show a lot. As if I was, really hosting. And, there was some I might tell you guys the story of that tomorrow. But there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Um, that I was like, man, maybe I should stop getting pimped for my Raider gospel. And at that time, I wasn't calling it Raider gospel. Raider gospel is just a new term that I brought this year, but it has been something I've been doing pretty much since day one of YouTube. Um, I'm always going to have input. I'm always going to have, if you guys have a question, especially in regards to the Raiders, and if you are not a Raiders fan, I do follow the NFL. So if you have a question about your personal team, um, I may be able to answer it. Not saying I have all the answers. I'm not I'm not the all-knowing person. But I do have a lot of information in regards to the Raiders, and I do follow the NFL. So that is one that I will that I stand on. And I'm also one of those people that I will tell you, hey, I don't know. I don't know. But I'll go look. Because I'm one of those. I'm also one of those people. Like if you ask me a question and I really don't know that, it will bug me. You know what I'm saying? If I don't figure out what it is or figure out something on it, I might not have the complete answer, but you'll know. Hey, he seems like he's working in the direction of getting the answer. And I think that's why a lot of people value, asking me questions. A lot of people ask me, hey, what do you think about this? What are your thoughts on this? There's a lot of people that, behind the scenes of YouTube, even some content creators, they'll call me and say, hey, what do you think? And I'll say, this is what I think. Da, 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 da. And, it's helped me, but it's also burned me in certain situations. Matter of fact, I'll tell you right now. When I was early in the game, I had a lot of content creators that would hit me up. I'm not going to put their names out there, but I had a lot of content creators hit me up behind the scenes, text me, call me, and ask me, questions, on topics of what's going on with the Raiders, and I would sit there and give them, like an hour's worth, 30 minutes worth of information on the topic. And then they would turn around hour or two later, do a live, and literally say everything that I said to them. So pretty much they were getting credit for, the information, because everybody was like, oh, he's smart, da, 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 and they didn't realize that it was me back there giving them the information. But again, I don't, I'm not trying to blast anybody like that, but I'm just telling you where, I came from. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, I do the work. I do the homework. That's why if you guys been following me, I always got the handy dandy, notebook. And actually this is my second notebook. So literally, I have another notebook that's completely full of topics, lives, notes, and stuff like that that I've done. So I can always, go back. If I don't have the video, of that live, then I actually have the notes in my notebook on what I said. I can go back to you. I can go back right now. Just this, and this is a version 2 of my notebook. Let's go back. Let's go back And I'll tell you what I've said. Okay. Okay, that was the Raiders schedule prediction. I actually have the Raiders. I had the Raiders going before camp. Looking at the schedule, I had them going. Oh, I had them going 11 wins. Okay, I had them going 11. But stay tuned for that because I will actually be going live a little after camp, and I'll be giving adjustments to that. So I could say, hey, we're going more than 11 wins, or saying we're going less than 11. I talked about Michael Barrett. He's a linebacker that a lot of people are not talking about. Some guy that I think is very intriguing. A guy that I think will find his way on the roster. And a lot of content creators hasn't talked about Michael Barrett as much. Has stand on business in regards to Michael Barrett. So if you see Michael Barrett on the roster, and a content creator starts going up there talking about, oh yeah, Michael Barrett. Remember, you've heard it here at Raider Twuan first, and you can go back to that live. And get that information. Talking about Christian Wilkins, what to do. You know what I'm saying? This was when the reports came out that Christian Wilkins was going to needed that second surgery. I'm missing something. Talking about AJ Cole. I believe just in the book I was talking about the UDFAs. Michael Barrett, okay. Unless that's in my book 1. Let me see. I thought this was in there. No, it wasn't. That's in my book 1. So in my book 1, I talked about let me go to this one because a lot of people, are now jumping on the board. When I was talking about Christian Wilkins and I said, what's next, I talked about who we should get. In place of Christian Wilkins, and I said Quentin Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? So I called out Quentin Jefferson before everybody else. Before everybody else jumped on board in regards to Quentin Jefferson. Also, I called out Quentin Jefferson before the Raiders even brought him in for a workout. And this was before the Christian Wilkins situation that we're in right now. So yeah, hey, look, but the Raider gospel is the Raider gospel, and I stand on it. And I got another one. I'm just going back to my last page. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you what's on the last page because I still haven't released it yet. But it's actually this page. But this page has somebody that needs some more respect. You know what I'm saying? And I think is a starter for the Raiders. So stay tuned for that. Okay. So I got some stuff cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got the 3rd anniversary coming up Sunday. I haven't put out a time yet. I'm still trying to figure that out because I want to not all content creators that I've worked with, but I want some of those special content creators that have been with me. You know what I'm saying? In my early stages. people that I've kind of grown along with on this journey. Yes, I've met some new people, and I love them and I respect them. But I want some of my I don't want to say my day ones, but some of my guys that that I've been with since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And some of them are not doing content, but they'll pop up every once in a while. Um, you know, and yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Some of my day ones, some guys that I've done a whole lot of work with. Um, you may see them pop up Sunday for that. I still have to create the thumbnail, and I'm going to create the thumbnail today. While the day is still young, but you guys, look, I got that one coming up on Sunday. I got to talk about Christian Wilkins, and give you guys my Raider gospel on that next week. And I'll be writing down my notes and all that for that. Uh, then I said there's a player that needs some respect. Hopefully, I'll have that. I'll be coming at you guys twice, topic wise. And then, if there's some press conferences in between that, I'll be doing formats like that for you. Go ahead and double tap that screen. I see you guys in here. Shout out to Dodo. Dodo is in the building. I don't know who's Leroy, but I'm not Leroy. I'm Raider Twuan. Hey, Ray Love said, Mostert! All right, you feel me? Hey, so scoring touchdowns. Hey, somebody got to do it. Hey, somebody got to do it. Hey, somebody got to do it. All right. I'll see you guys in there. Hey, make sure you guys hit that, double tap that screen, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Get it active. I thank you guys for coming in. Please share this out. That Raider Twuan is out here sharing the Raider gospel to you. I got some really special things coming up. I just talked to the deacons about it. Ray Love. Yeah. Yeah, Ray Love. There's some things that we've talked about on live, but I talked to some of the other deacons and they're on board, so I'm excited about that I'll be cranking out for you guys throughout the season. And that will be awesome. All right. Here at Raider Twuan, we are advocates for being an organ donor. Please, please, please consider yourself to be an organ donor. That information on how to be an organ donor is down in the description of all my videos and all my lives, okay? That's why here at Raider Twuan, we are advocates for being an organ donor. So please consider yourself being an organ donor. That's down in the description of all my videos, all my lives. Twuan at Twuan, TWUAN, TWUAN is my Instagram, but it's also how you can find me on X, okay? So definitely get that going. We need some people over there on X to get, my X, jealous, So go ahead and hit that on X at TWUAN, TWUAN, okay? Go on to Raider Twuan and like all my content. If you haven't watched anything, go just hit like on everything. Okay? Go ahead and join the congregation, get it active, get it flowing, and get it popping. Get it popping, okay? We like I said, I got a whole bunch of stuff ready for you. And I'm excited for the season and what this season 3 is going to bring for Raider Twuan and the congregation. We're gonna have a whole lot of things. I got so many ideas in the mind, you know what I'm saying? Not enough money, but got a whole lot of ideas. So that's why I need your help, you know what I'm saying? Support the channel definitely by Cash App and Venmo. Okay. And what else? What else? Oh, you want some daily motivation? You know what I'm saying? A text message with a little scripture, maybe, that kind of motivates you to do some good things in life. Definitely hit up the phone number. Text Connect to 510-345-1660. This is not a scam, so you don't have to worry about it. Text Connect to 345-1660. Okay? That is available to each and every one of you. Hey, you guys have a great day. Hope you guys have a great, good health. You know what I'm saying? I hope you eat something good today. Drink some water. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the sunshine and enjoy life. Okay? Because life is not promised to us at all. So you might as well make it count. Okay? Hey, remember, you're a blessing. Be a blessing to someone else. And let's go! Raiders.